Okay, and welcome to Nick Then Gaming's 8th Unity Shooter Game Development course, I suppose. And in the past video, we created our two prefabs, our bad guy holder and our shot shell. But now we want to create a user interface. So I will go to Create UI, and let's create a canvas. We have to have a canvas, otherwise things can't display on the screen, unfortunately. Now in our canvas we want to set a few of the things. We want it to be screen space overlay, but the canvas scalar UI scale mode we want to change from constant pixel size to scale with screen size, which I like to set to 1920 by 1080. To get this to look right as well, we need to click Game, change it from Free Aspect to 1920 by 1080 Full HD. If you don't have this, you can click the plus to add a new item, add your label here, and then just type the width and the height. So I'll click Full HD, then I'll go back to my scene. It actually changes the canvas here. If you click on canvas, move your mouse to the scene area and press the F key and then 2D to rotate, and you can now see your canvas. Now in the center of the canvas I want a little red dot, so I'll right click canvas, UI image. Now I want this image to be 10 by 10. It will be in the very center, and I'm going to change the color of the image to red. You can do a lot more with this if you want, but that is beyond the scope of this video. Next, I want to create a image for my score. So I'll go right click on canvas, UI image, and I will name this the score image. Now on the score image I want to anchor it to the top left. Then I will set the width to 300 and the height to 100. The X position will be half of the width, so 150, and the Y position will be negative half of the height, so negative 50. For the image, I actually want to set it to the background image. And then I want to add a horizontal layout group. So I'll add component horizontal layout group. The spacing will be in the upper left. Let's open up padding because I want it to be padding left and right 10. I want to control the child size width, but I do not want to force expand the width. Then I want to right click on score image, and I want to go to UI text, and this one I will name the score label text. So score label text, I'll press Ctrl and D to duplicate it, and I will name this one the score text. The score text will have the text of 0, and the score label text will have the text of score : Then I will select both of them. I will set it to bold. I like it to be left aligned, but I want it vertically centered. And I want the font size. I find that at this size, having the font size at 36 or 35 is usually pretty good. Let's scroll in and wonder what is going on. Oh, I see what's wrong. I'm terribly sorry. We need to set the height. So we want the height to match the parent, and we can actually do that with for control size child height. There we go. So now we can see everything as we like it, and that's a click on canvas, press F, and that's a good view. I can even see it as zoomed out as this is. So we have enough time. Let's create our game over image, and this will be the screen that the game over is shown. So create a new UI image. Let's name it the game over image, and the game over image will have an image attached to it with the background color of red. Let's go with the more doom and gloom red, like a darker red. And we will set its anchor to the one with all of the pluses, so it's stretch on both sides. Then the left, top, right, and bottom are set to 0. And that's about all we want to do with it. But now let's create a text. This will say game over. So UI text, and we will say game over text. And for the game over text, I find that setting the width to about 500 and the height to 100 displays it very nice. Instead of new text, let's say game over. If you want to change the font, you can drag a TTF file here. Just import it to your assets first, and then drag it here. The default is just the pretty Arial. I'm the only one who thinks it's pretty. I'll set it to bold. I like the font size at about 70, and I want to center it horizontally and vertically. One last thing is I want the color to be white. I do not recommend using Best Fit because I find that using Best Fit on Android devices can really slow down your game. As odd as that sounds to me. Okay, now we need 2 buttons. But to start, let's create a single one. So let's create an empty, and we will call this the restart button. To do this, let's add a button, and then we'll add our, we have not added our scripts yet. Okay. So we'll finish that later. Instead, let's right click and let's add a UI image, and this image will be called the background image. So background image, which we want to click the little circle for source image, select background, and I think I want to set the alpha to 155. I kind of like that. If you don't, that's up to you. I'll also set the transform to stretch with 0. And that's about it for this. I also want to add some text, so right click restart UI text, and I'll say restart text. And what will it say other than restart? Wow, who would have known? Oh, don't press enter there like I always do. For this, I will also set it to stretch, but I will have it at 10 on each side. Then I always like to make it bold. I want to center it, and I want the text to stay black. But let's change the font size. I find that a 35 font size is okay. Oh, but let's go back to our restart button. We want to change the size of that. We want the width to be 150 and the height to be 75. It's a bit better looking that way. Then we also want to set the X position. The X position will be half of the width plus 5 And for this one, I want it on the left, so it will be times -1, which makes it a -80. The Y position needs to be below the game over one, which is a height of 100, I believe, plus half of this one, which is 75, and you can't get exactly half of 75, so let's just do 50 plus 40, which would make this times -1, since we want it to go down, so that would make it -90. Then let's duplicate this, and instead of -90, it will be, oh sorry, it will stay as -90. Instead of -80, it's now 80. Instead of restart button 1, this will be the quit button. Instead of restart text, this will be the quit text. Instead of restart, it will say quit. And that is everything here. So we've got everything laid out. We're going to attach some scripts and do some final testing in the next video. So we are almost there. Thank you for sticking it out, and I'll see you in the next one.